You've been trying to learn how to code, but it doesn't really click. Like you have nothing to show for it. You have no projects at all. I get it. Learning how to code is a very difficult thing. But trust me, if you learn how to do it properly, that will be the difference between you having to worry about money and status and being able to get that fantastic job you've always wanted to get. Whatever it is, you have to become good at learning how to code because that is the secret to mastery, obviously. Okay, so the first thing I see that developers don't really do when they're starting to learn how to code is that they focus on the small stuff. They really get enthralled in the details of everything. Now, you're probably a beginner coder watching this. Something I really need to let you know as a beginner coder is that you really need to focus on the big picture stuff rather than the individual lines of code. Why? Because especially today, AI can handle this. It can handle it properly. And I want you to be as productive as you can possibly be. Once you understand the big picture of code, the small details will all make sense. If you understand how architecture is linked with each other, the rest becomes really easy. Once you understand what a front end is, once you understand what a back end is, once you understand what a database is, and how they all link together, that, for me, has solved a lot of the weird that goes on behind the scenes when it comes to learning how to code. You need to understand that all the software that's being used out there in the real world are actually just architectures put together. That's like the number one lesson I've had in the last 5 years of my developer journey. You have that interface, which are like your button, your profile picture, some text here, right? Like you have your interface, right? And then you have your complex backend systems that handle the things in the background like notifications, emails, security, storage, right? You have all of these things that basically contribute to your backend system. And once you really understand how all of this is linked together, and there's a reason why I keep repeating the same things over and over again, because you need to understand everything on a big picture. Once you do that, then the small details will make sense. I'm gonna make a video about how learning so many different programming languages is kind of a waste of time, because once you actually understand that, my job as a software engineer or a full stack developer is to actually solve solutions, build solutions for people to use. That is the bread and butter of a software engineer, okay? You need to reshape your thinking from learning how to learn Java or JavaScript or React or PHP or let's say Laravel or like C++, C#. These are not the things you need to be focusing on. You need to be focusing on architecture, because at the end of the day, if this is you, right? If this is the amount of money you can get and this axis represents your skill in architecture, this is what's up, man. This is what's up. This is literally the secret to making a of money as a software developer. Now, for the homies out there, you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars per year doing this. Genuinely, this is what big companies will pay you. But if you're like me and you look at this number and you're like, okay, that's nice, but I know I'm capable of this. My mom has raised me, my dad has raised me to become a better person than $500,000 a year. Then you need to understand that making architectures and solving people's problems is the key to massive amounts of success. And that's what I want for you, bro. But let's answer the question, why do people fail how to learn? It's because they focus on the wrong things. They focus on learning how to learn languages. They focus on learning how to learn languages instead of focusing on architectures. If you ask them to create an interface, they'll fail. If you ask them to create like a server, like an API, and deploy it, right? They'll fail. If you've asked them to create a database, they'll fail. Look, I was 11 years old when I learned how to code, but it wasn't until I learned these things that I actually made the money I was happy to make. Because genuinely, most people focus on learning JavaScript and right? Like languages. They learn languages, new frameworks, right? That's bull, man. That literally, that's not gonna make you money at all. What you need to focus on is building these projects that solve problems. Genuinely, you need to focus on architecture, man. I'm repeating it again because my spelling is up. Architecture. Oh man, early morning. You need to focus on architecture. Understand how these systems are linked with each other. Front end, back end, server design, API design. Once you get this stuff, rolling in the back of your mind, once you can deploy these basic architecture setups, you will be golden. You'll be paid more than the average developer, man. Genuinely, you'll be paid a lot of money if you can actually master this. That is my message to you. And this is fun. This is a lot of fun to people. Once you can actually deploy these things to the cloud, then you can focus on, okay, how do I create this? Like, how do I create this button quicker, right? Like, for example, like basically when people code, they think about adding a profile picture, adding some text, adding a button here. Like, that's what they think about developing interfaces and but okay, that is less important than actually deploying this full stack application. That's what you need to be focusing your time on, okay? And especially with this API design stuff, right? Like, let's write API here. Most people, they spend days figuring this part out, like this service out, or this function out. Well, no, you need to genuinely focus on the big picture thing, because look, nothing feels better than deploying your own app to the world because you learned how to do all this via deploying this stuff. After you learn how to deploy these full stack architectures, that's supposed to be an arrow, then you can have your own website. And when you send this link to people, that's where I get the most happiness from. And that's what I wanted to tell you in this video. Genuinely build your own projects, have fun with it, enjoy the process. Okay? Another thing that has crossed my mind is that a lot of people think that developing is just a job or some and that software engineering is just a profession. That I genuinely don't do it if you just think it's a job. I need you to actually channel your inner creativity, your inner passion, your inner curiosity to solve the problems about the world, man. You have a limited time to live. You genuinely have one life to live, and it would be a shame for you to waste your time, genuinely waste your time doing something you're not interested in. Ask yourself, do I want to learn coding? Do I want to create systems? Is that something I want to do? And if the answer to that question is yes, then feel free to be the best coder you've possibly ever dreamt of being. But if the answer is no to that, I would strongly consider you to change, or at least ask yourself what you could do instead. You need to set goals for yourself. Because only when you understand that, yes, I want to be a developer, will you have the drive to actually do this. You know how many people I've told to do this in my life, but they haven't done it? And they're coders. Only do this if you actually have an interest to do this. You need to fall in love with what you're doing. I'm going to guarantee you 100% that there are going to be moments and days that are going to suck balls. But it's because we want to create the systems for the world, we want to have a good impact on society, that we persevere and we stick through the bad days. We have a duty as developers to make the best systems we can possibly make. And for the ballsy guys out there, I'm talking about you, bro. You will understand that one day you'll be able to solve a real world problem with this knowledge. And you'll be able to make a lot of people happy. Listen, I really wish the best for you. I really do. Understand that this is a very delicate and time-consuming process, but the day you will master it, and that day will come, you will be so glad you did these things. Okay? Before I leave, please, if you want to surround yourself with genuine developers that all have the same mindset as you, click the link below, join our group. I would love to have you there. And yeah, subscribe if you want to subscribe. But yeah, life is given by God, so make a proper use of it. I'll check you in the next video. Good luck. I love you. Take care. Bye.